Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me for today's Pilates for Runners 2. So I did one of these before, and if you haven't watched it, you can look back into my channel and I'll link to it in the comments so that you can watch the first one. This one is not necessarily a continuation, but is just more exercises to help you with your running, to help you keep running, to help you develop injury resiliency so that you can stay running for longer and improve. So for this session, you will need a foam roller and a TheraBand/loop band. You can have a loop one like this, tie one around, doesn't really matter. And if you don't have either of those, don't worry about it. You can do everything without. So to start, you can just put both of those to the side and then just bring yourself down to lie on your mat. And just do a check-in here with yourself. So whether you're doing this before you run or after you run or because you're thinking about running, doesn't really matter. Allow your mind and body to arrive physically present in this place where you are. Breathe in, fill yourself up. Exhale, empty out. And I want you to do that a few times because I want you to feel how it feels to have this expansion of your ribs and the filling of your diaphragm, this amazing lung capacity that you can improve upon and practice to also improve the breathing in your running. So do that a few times. Look for your shoulders to soften the mat. Check in that you aren't holding tension anywhere that you don't need to be. And just allow yourself to breathe and be completely present within the boundaries of the mat and the boundaries of your body. And then as you've done that and you're ready, if you can reach for your foam roller, you're going to take it and put it behind you, just along your shoulder blades, along your thoracic spine. So we're going to start with a little bit of extension today. Now, if you haven't been running or done any type of warm up, then just take this easy for the first few. But what I want you to really do is inhale and breathe in as you slowly come back over the roller. Maybe just halfway for the first one, and then bring yourself back up. And do that again. Inhale, filling yourself up, extending over the roller, and then exhale, return. Now, when we run, we spend a lot of time in the sagittal plane, and that's front and back, forward and back. And we spend very much a lot of time, or potentially a lot of time, in a slightly kyphotic posture, which is a little bit hunched forward, especially if, for example, you're running into the wind and you have to kind of shield yourself. So this lets us open all of that up. As you get a little bit more warmed up here, feel that you can go back maybe a little further. And I'm just allowing myself to breathe into this. Inhale, press it right back, and just hang out there for this one. Breathe in again, let your ribs expand. You may feel a bit of release in your shoulder blades or your thoracic spine. And then come up just to neutral. Lift your bottom up off the mat and just roll a little bit over that spot. Now, if you watched did my foam roller release class, I did a little bit of this, but it's really good for runners because it helps free up that spot there between your shoulder blades that you may find gets a little bit tight from, again, that forward kyphosis or your breathing. Sitting your bottom down now, bring yourself up. And we're going to come into some lateral flexion. So again, in running, we spend so much time going forward and back, it's good to do the counter movements. So place your hand onto the roller, rolling over, folding across, and then bringing yourself back up. Do that again, folding over. Feel that you can lengthen out along that top side, those intercostal muscles between your ribs really stretching nicely. This time when you are upright, you're going to pivot around, put both hands onto the foam roller, and come around into your 4-point kneeling. Just take a second here to check in so you can have your knees underneath your hips. Then tuck your toes underneath. On your exhale, lifting up, and then lowering down. So I'm transitioning here into a little bit of core stability work. Super important when we think about running because you are upright the whole time. So we need your core to be able to function optimally in line with your breathing and during movement. Hold up on your next one. Move the rollers slightly forward and back. Again, we're just making it unstable, a little bit trickier. Then pause, palms underneath your shoulders. Send your feet back into your plank. Breathe here, lengthen out your body. If it's too much to be on the roller, just bring your hands down to the mat, that's fine. Imagine that you're coming straight over the crown of your head, lengthening up your neck. We're just building this for endurance. Keep breathing, feel your ribs collect, core engages. One more really nice deep breath, then lower your knees down to the floor. Take them a little bit wider and you can press back into your child's pose. Take a really nice breath there. And then we're gonna come through a variation of cat and cow. So on your exhale, I want you to just lift your bottom off a little bit and take your feet out to parallel. And then flex, roller comes slightly forward. Inhale and extend. Exhale, roller forward. So my bottom is staying back a little bit over my heels. Inhale and extend. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Again, we're playing with this mobility of your spine. Super important to decompress it, because when you run with all the pounding, your spine really gets compressed down. Bring yourself all the way up now. And flipping around so you can be in your Z-sit in the other direction. Find yourself sitting up tall, pelvis squared off forward, both sits bones ground onto the mat, and then folding over and returning. Exhale, pressing out, returning back. And just flow through this. You can hold it, you can go a little bit quicker, you can do without the roller, just as a traditional mermaid. Again, the intention of it is just lateral flexion. Then pause when you're upright. You can move your roller to the side. Take both of your arms out. Translation. Imagine you're trying to shift your ribs without anything else moving. So my ribs are going side to side. And this is important, the connection of your thoracolumbar and the arrangement of your ribs and shoulder blades plays a really big role in your breathing function during running and the freedom of movement when we think about that side-to-side action. So we're going to translate now to some work into your glutes and lower body. So take your band and place it around your calves and bring yourself down to lie on the mat. Now, over time, as you practice this class more, you can increase the tension of your band, and that will make it a little bit more challenging for you. For now, what I want you to really check in on, you're gonna have your feet and legs parallel and a bit of tension on the band. And look up and see that you have your femurs coming out directly up in line with your knees, and your knees aren't knocking in or pushing out. So everything is going to be together, working together. Then on your exhale, core engages, lift your legs up the tabletop. Draw your toes towards you. We're gonna ask for a little bit more from the hamstrings. Then 90 degrees, expand out and return. So we're starting to get some abduction work here. Abductors, glute medius on the side are really important for pelvis alignment and knee alignment. And of course, we all know how important that is for running in reducing injury and pain and just allowing you to run more efficiently. Now, if this is enough for you, stay here like this. Next level, when your legs are parallel and with little tension on the band, exhale, curling up, and then spread your legs and lower down. So you start down with a little bit of tension, then you exhale, curl up, and expand. So now we're thinking about this full body integration. Running is not a single action or a single movement or a single system. There's a lot of things going on. So let's think about integrating them together. Really feel here, you can exhale, draw your belly in that deepening so you can feel the work coming from your center. 3 more. 2. Last one. Very good. Leave yourself down flat. Lower your legs down to the floor. And then take your arms down by your sides. We're going to come through a bridge variation now. So you're going to have a bit of tension on the band. Keep that spreading sensation of your legs, like you're trying to keep that even distance the whole time. Then on your exhale, posterior tilting, curling your way up into your bridge, ribs collect together at the top, and then articulate your way back down. I'm going to reset here and actually bring my feet a little bit closer to my bottom. So again, check in. You have the tension on. Exhale, imprint your spine, draw your belly in. Feel your ribs collect at the top. Shoulders are engaged here. Triceps pressing down a little bit. And then articulate back down. Do 2 more like this and really see if you can feel the simultaneous work of glute meads pushing the band out and hamstrings and glutes helping you follow through on the action, this hip extension action as you come up. Very good. Now this time when you're down, we're going to add a little bit more for the hamstrings. So I want you to take your legs out a little bit so that you're going to have your knees less bent and come right up onto the bottoms of your heels here. Then the action is the same. So on your exhale, drawing your belly in, spine imprints, articulating up, reach the top, and then articulate back down. Now this makes the load a little bit more intense for the hamstrings. If it's too much, of course, come back to the previous version. I still have this equal distance. So be mindful of that. Your legs may want to start to fall inwards. Resist that urge. Now this time you're going to hold up. Check in. Pelvis stays neutral. Lift one foot, put it back down. Other foot, put it back down. So we automatically increase the load on the hamstring of whichever leg is staying on the floor. Allow that transfer of weight to happen. This is really important for your SIJ, which is responsible for helping you transfer weight from side to side. And think about running, you're constantly transferring weight in rapid succession. Core is engaged. Keep breathing. 3 more. 2. Last one. Leave both your feet down and articulate down onto the mat. Very good. Then you can just take your knees, hug them into your chest. Have a little movement side to side, anything that you need to do, and then place your feet back down to the floor. Now your feet are going to stay on the floor, but again, have some tension on the band if it's available to you. If you're getting really fatigued here, then feel free to let the tension off. Otherwise, keep it on. Take your hands back behind your head. On your exhale, coming into your crossover work. Crossing over and returning down, alternating sides. So when we do the oblique curl ups, these ones that we're doing, I want you to really be looking for it from your side abdominals here so that you can feel them contracting to pull you up at an angle, like you're creating these X shapes across your, or this X shape across your torso. Adding on now, curling up, and then taking your hand across and reach, and then return, other side. So it just deepens that crossing action. If it's too much, doesn't feel good, you don't like it, then stay in the original version. Exhaling each time you come up, checking for that drawing in of your belly, lifting of your pelvic floor, always this control and drive from your breath and your center. Doing one more on either side. And then leaving yourself down. Lengthen your legs out. And then I want you to still have a bit of tension on the band, but you're going to have your feet now. We're going to do a little bit of foot and ankle work. So your legs are going to stay straight. Feel that your hamstrings compress up to the mat underneath. My legs are separated out with the tension on. Draw your toes towards you, dorsiflex. Push them away from you, plantar flex. Keep doing that. And as you do it each time, I want you to try to get the slightest little bit of increased range of mobility. So when you push your toes away, you should feel it all the way up the front of your foot, even into your shins. And then coming back with your toes pulling toward you, all the way up the back of your legs, even into your hamstrings. Inhale as you press away. Exhale as you pull your toes toward you. We're going to do 3 more sets. Foot and ankle movement and mobility and function is so critical for running. All those landings need the support. Now I want you to pause with your feet in dorsiflexion. So that means you're trying to bring your toes towards you. Keep them like that, hands back behind your head. Then exhale, curling up. Inhale, release. Now if you can, try not to let your feet change. And you're going to just feel this pulling your toes toward you at the same time that you're curling up. Now if you're happy here, feel your abs working, feel the backs of your legs, stay here. Next level, we're going to cross over, and the side that you're crossing over is the side that stays dorsiflex. The other side goes opposite. So you lift up, I'm crossing to the right, keeping those toes pulling towards me, other side going away from me. So we're integrating here, again, integrated movement, super important for running. And we want to think about this rotational work in the body, because running, when you have that movement of your upper body, you actually have a slight bit, or you want to have a slight bit of rotation. And that helps you propel forward. Do 1 more on either side. Very good. Then leave yourself down. Take your arms up overhead. You can keep the tension on the band or bring your legs together, whatever you'd rather. Tuck your chin towards your chest as you come through your roll up. Drawing your belly in, reaching through. Now once you get there, point, flex, roll back down. So any opportunity you have to work on your ankle range of mobility and stability, as well as your feet, take it. Because you need it for your running, and it's something that's really easy to integrate just in your daily life. So we're going to stop here at the top now and do a few more for your ankle. So take your band. Actually, I'm allowed to do it for your foot. So you're going to take your band. Now I'm starting with it on my right foot, and you're going to hold the band out to your right side. Back up a little bit. Then leave your legs still, pull in towards the center. So you're trying to turn the sole of your foot in towards the midline. So this is inversion here. Think about this movement happening from your ankle is inverting. Really important again for this functional work into your feet and ankles. Now switch the band to your other hand. So I'm pulling out to the left, and you're going to turn your foot out to the right. Eversion. So it's like you're trying to turn the sole of your foot out to the right side. Knee and leg stay grounded. Just 2 more here on this side. Then transfer it over. So now we're starting pulling to the left on the left, and it lets us come into inversion, back facing forward. Inversion, back forward. Left hand, left leg to the left side, foot turns to the right. Bend my knee here so you can maybe see a little bit better. There we are. No movement of your straight leg on the left or knee. Then switch. So now you're going to hold on to it with your right hand and pull and rotate or evert out to the right side, left side. Right hand out to the left side. Now these are super important ones if you tend to get pain down the side of your ankle here, up into your leg, anything like that. There's a lot of tendons that run down there, the perineal tendons. Super important for the positioning of your feet when you land, and this helps strengthen them. 2 more here. So you're going to have it back onto your calves like we started with, and then roll around and lie onto your side. So we're going to continue here with some abduction work. Body is lengthened out. Really imagine here that you are leaning against a wall. Your bottom leg is going to stay stable. Top leg, lift and lower. And you're looking to recruit right here along your glute med on the top. So you're thinking about your top leg like a really big long stick that is being pulled out and then lift it. So it's pulled out and then lift it. Connect in with your breath. And then hold up on the top. Small movement. Press, press, press. Breathing through for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Bring it down. Don't worry about the band going slack. Come here onto your forearm and then lengthening up onto your palm. Here's this lateral flexion again. Down onto your forearm. Waist shortens here, up onto your palm. So really again looking for this folding at the top, stretching up the bottom. Then this time when you are down, turn your palm to face forward. We're going to come up into your side plank. So you can leave your legs stacked or put one in front of the other. And then lifting up into your side plank, repositioning as you need to. From here, arm extends up and then rotate underneath. Look down towards the floor and open back up. So now we're working on the underside glute med. Really trying to think about that helping you out. Last one here. Then take that top foot. You're going to put it onto the floor. Bottom leg, lift and lower. Just 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Very good. Now come all the way around. Don't worry about your band. We're just going to release out with the cat and cow. So on your exhale, flexing up through your spine. And then inhale and articulate as you open your ribs to the floor. Other direction, tuck your tailbone under. Try to get this fluid movement of your spine. Feel those rectus abdominis underneath working to flex it. And then depress your shoulders as you come in the opposite direction. Make this your last set. And then let your legs lengthen out behind you as you come onto your stomach. Now, I still have the band on. If it's uncomfortable, you want to take it off, go for it. We're not using it for this. It's just to make it easier for after. So leave your legs, or bring your legs together and bring your forehead down onto the mat. Now, your palms are going to be in line here about with your nose, and we're going to come into extension. Inhale, extending. Exhale, core engages, lowering. Now, extension is important in running because, as we talked about at the beginning, we spend a little bit more time likely in a bit of a kyphotic posture. That's that forward kind of hunching. And this helps open you up and is really good for your rib space so that you can get better lung capacity. Now I'm going to take you to the next level. If it does not feel good for you, stay in the first one. So this time you're going to inhale. Then once you are up there, continue coming right up into a bit of a deeper extension. And then lower yourself back down. Again, doesn't feel good. Choose a variation that is better for you from here. Continue on if you wish. We're going to do one more like that. Then this time you're going to come down. Take both of your hands over to one side. Doesn't matter which side you start on. You'll be pretty much at the corner of your mat. Then same idea. So my forehead is going to start now a little bit more like it's on my forearm. And then same idea. Inhale, extend up. But now both arms are going to push from one side. And you're going to feel a little bit of lateral flexion here at the same time as you extend. Lower it down. Switch over to the other side. Inhale. Let your ribs open onto the floor. You can even look over to that side where you're folding towards. Coming back down. Both arms now to the sides, to the corners. Inhale, open up there a little wider. Really give yourself that space. And then return down. Pressing all the way up. Coming to your counter pose. Just sending your bottom back. Flexing at your spine. And then bringing yourself around. We're now going to come into your sideline work on the other side. So if you took your band off, put it back on. You need to reposition it like me. Go ahead and do so. And then we'll meet down on your side. Legs lengthened out. Finding this little mouse hole space underneath here so you get your core connected. Front hand here for your balance as you need. Top leg lift and lower. So if you do this exercise and you don't really feel it anywheres, you may need a stronger band. If you do this exercise and you really feel it in the front here and kind of along your hip flexor, then think about your core allowing you, first engaging your core and then flexing your foot, and it's like you're pushing up from here. There's a weight here. And you need to stay parallel, trying to let yourself invert. Really lengthening out and lifting. And sometimes it can take a while to find that intentional glute med activation. And if you are running and finding you have problems in your knees or your hips, it may be that your glute med doesn't like to turn on. Or at least maybe when it's supposed to. Hold up at the top, small pulsing. Just press, press, press. And when it comes to exercises for glute med and whatnot, I do something for them every day, just to keep them always kind of at the forefront and ready to come to work. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lower down, leave it there. Coming up onto your palm. Lateral flexion to the side and lowering back down. Lateral flexion coming up, and you can even reach that hand a little further if you wish. And lowering. Here's this intercostal stretching work. A little bit of latimer needs help you come up. Shoulder stays down. One more here. Then staying down, reposition here onto your forearm. Make sure you're on your mat. And then as you're ready, coming up into your side plank. Arm comes up and then twist. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, twist. This really nice rotation. Turn your sternum to the floor as much as you can. Hold up on this one. That front leg comes down. Back or bottom leg lift and lower. Inner thigh work here. Stay in it. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Yes, very good. That is a tricky one. Okay, well done. You can bring yourself up. Take your band off, putting it to the side. And then lie yourself back down. Choose a side to start on. Doesn't matter which side. I'm starting on my right. Bend your right knee and hug it into your chest. Left leg lengthens out. And then your bent knee, you're just going to roll it around there. Really feel this nice hip mobility. You can come side to side, in and out. Feel that you can really mobilize in around your hips and pelvis. And then place that bent knee foot on the floor. Hands come up. I'm just going to move my roll over there. Hands come up here to the sides. Now you're going to lead with your bent knee. So on your exhale, let your bent knee fold over. And your lower body's going to rotate there, and then you're going to look in the opposite direction. Just this nice little bit of lumbar twist. And then returning back, we'll do it again on the same side. Reset in the middle. Then lifting, rotating. And returning back. Leave that same foot on the floor. Take your other knee and bend it up. Push a little bit on your knee to start, and then as you're ready, if you wish, you can reach through, hold onto your shin or your hamstring to do your figure 4 stretch. Feels nice after that bit of glute work that we did. And then as you're ready, you're gonna place that foot on the floor, hands come back up, and rotate again over now to your right side. Let that top foot come rest right down on the floor if that feels good. And then return back up. Take your other knee hugging into your chest, other leg straightens out along the floor. So now I have my left knee in, right leg lengthens out, and just come through that hip mobility. Circling around. I also like it actually to hold on here, just go a little bit side to side. If that feels good for you, you can do that. We're just looking to get a little bit of freedom here in your hips. And then place that foot onto the floor. Hands come back up. Lead with your knee, folding it over, rotating, and shift your gaze in the opposite direction. Now, if your shoulders come off a little bit, that's okay, but have the intention of driving them down in the opposite direction of your knee. And then coming back, we're going to do one more. Inhale to prepare, exhale, let yourself rotate and twist. And then return. Leave that foot on the floor, take your other knee, bending it. Reach and push onto your knee. And then as you're ready, if you wish, you can reach right through, hold on to your hamstring or to your shin. A little bit of a stretch there. And then placing it back down the floor, hands come up. Rotate around, resting right down the floor with that foot if you wish. Gaze in the opposite direction. And then bring yourself back to the center, unravel from all of that. Lengthen your arms and legs out. Reach with them. Really imagine that you're going to stretch them as far away as you can. Do a few hikes of your hips, moving a little bit up and down, either side. And then if there's any other stretch or movement that you need, just doing that now before you settle in here on the mat. And indeed, settle in. Feel all of the work that we just did now come to rest underneath of you, within you, around you. Feel the energy that you cultivated and created. And feel the work that you sent through your mind and your body to your muscles, to all the areas that you regularly work when you run, but maybe you just work them a little bit differently, with a little bit more compassion, and with the intention of developing a little bit more resilience. Take a few breaths there. Acknowledge this work that you just did, show up, and to look after yourself, and to be here to improve your running. Give yourself a pat on the back for that, and thank you so much for doing it here with me.